These comments came from a J.P. Morgan event. Mr. Dimon, who is always plain-spoken and some say very outspoken, was making the comments to a moderator who asked him, Jamie, why don't you throw your hat into the ring, meaning the run for the presidency? Here's what Mr. Dimon said, quote, I think I could beat Trump because I'm as tough as he is. I'm smarter than he is. I cannot beat the liberal side of the Democratic Party, end quote. And then he continued to say, basically, he could punch me all he wants and it wouldn't work. He went on to say, and by the way, this wealthy New Yorker actually earned his money. It wasn't a gift from Daddy. So we will see whether we get a response from the president to those comments. I know that he follows Mr. Dimon closely because, of course, they are both New Yorkers. J.P. Morgan is a major bank globally, and it'll be interesting to see if we get a response. He didn't say he was going to throw his hat into the ring, but he didn't say he wasn't either, Carl.
That's right. These make his Bitcoin comments from last year look like child's play, Sue.
Oh, totally,
thank you.
Yes.
Sue Herera. Obviously, Eamon Javers of the White House will watch for a reaction from the Oval Office, but it's plain spoken, and I guess people are trying to figure out Dimon's motivation here.
Yeah, look, Carl, I think two ways to look at this. The first one is just in terms of corporations and their brands generally vis-a-vis the Trump administration. And we're seeing a sort of a tipping point here with some companies and some corporate leaders who early on in the Trump administration were deathly afraid of getting an angry tweet from the president of the United States because that could affect their bottom line. Now you're seeing sort of an emboldened corporate world, at least in some respects. I think of the Nike Colin Kaepernick commercial, and now these comments from Jamie Dimon, which I don't think you would have seen early in the Trump administration. Now you're seeing corporate leaders unafraid to sort of take oppositional stances against the president of the United States. That's something that's relatively new. Companies traditionally had been extremely wary of any kind of political involvement because it would cost you half of your customers. Some companies and some corporate leaders seem to be making the calculation that comments like this, the Nike ad as well, will actually get them more customers than they'll lose as a result. And so they seem to be willing to be outspoken. Then the other question, Carl, is, could Jamie Dimon actually beat Donald Trump? And I think that's a fascinating one and sort of unknowable because of Dimon's point, which is probably right, that he couldn't get the Democratic nomination. The question is, what has Donald Trump's candidacy in 2016 done to the potential field of candidates in 2020? And I think it's just sort of ripped open a lid on the type of people who can run for president of the United States. It used to be sort of senators, governors, and maybe some generals, and that was it. Now I think you're going to see a whole crop of business leaders, reality TV people, celebrities, and others who look at this and say, you know what, I can do what Donald Trump has done, and in their own heads they'll be thinking, and I can do it better. And so I think 2020 is going to be a wild election season where we see a lot of untraditional candidates enter this race on the Democratic side, possibly even on the Republican side, Carl.